Let's get to it. Our UFC 301 main event, and it is for the men's flyweight title as the champ, Alexandre Pantoja, defending his crown against the number 10 ranked Steve Erceg. And let us first look at Alexandre Pantoja, who comes in riding a 5-fight win streak, which includes defeating Brandon Moreno in July of last year to win the flyweight title, and then defeating Brandon Royval in his first title defense last time out to close out the year back in December. His opponent, Steve Erceg, and what an opportunity for a guy who's only had 3 fights in the promotion, and funny enough, debuted around the same time in June of last year that Pantoja won the title. Yeah. That's how fast Steve Erceg is getting this shot. His last win was an impressive second-round knockout over Matt Schnell back in March. So a pretty quick turnaround here for Steve Erceg. John, we will begin with you.
Yeah, you know, it is interesting, like you said, with the way the division's set up. Like, the only person that even isn't either booked or coming off a loss or hasn't been in a title fight anytime soon would be like a Tim Elliott, which is crazy to think. Yeah. At one point that division was in a way different space. Yeah. But good on, you know, Erceg for taking advantage of his situation. Yeah. My biggest problem with this for him is, I mean, when you talk about too much too fast, I feel like that's what this has a good chance of being. Sure. When you talk about the level of opponent, and then even just getting a chance to get used to that level of talent in the UFC, like you said, just not, you know, what does you say, a year and some change away from
not even a year.
Not even a year.
I think it'll be almost 11 months. Just at 11 months. Debuted in June of 2023, and now fighting in May of 2024.
And it's not like that. There's not people that can do that, but I feel like Pantoja is one of those guys who's beat the most well-rounded guys in the division. And has beat all the good guys. I mean, not to say that Erceg couldn't catch him because he has really good boxing, but Pantoja has a historically great chin, great cardio, great stand-up himself, and obviously is a game changer with his grappling. So I'm going Pantoja here. I'm going to go with a third-round sub.
I will say, I do think Steve Erceg has a legit shot in this matchup. He's a big guy for the division. He's powerful, excellent timing and footwork. He also has a very solid ground game as well. The problem is, I feel like I said almost all those same things for Brandon Royval coming into his fight with Pantoja, and we see how that went right. Especially when you look at the experience side of things. Just, I mean, like you said, I think that's where most people are probably going to get pretty caught up in this, if we're being honest. But more specifically, the 5-round experience, right? And I don't worry about cardio for a guy like Steve Erceg. I'm sure he's going to show up in shape, ready to go. But to me, winning a 5-round fight today, at least from what I've seen, and I think it looks or appears, right? It just seems to be an art and a skill set all in and of itself. And man, right now, Pantoja just looks unbeatable over 5 rounds. You know, we've seen him tested in so many aspects. We've seen him seemingly on the edge of defeat, yet he always seems to pull it out somehow. I think it'll be a fun fight. Striking defense is not great for either man here. Both guys definitely willing to take some big ones to get some, or get some to give some. So I expect we may see someone go down, possibly even both men early. Yeah. But both guys do have great chins, as you said, with Erceg. And I think Erceg, he's going to give a great account of himself here. But I think, and I do think it could be close. But yeah, I think I'm definitely going Alexandre Pantoja. I will say by unanimous decision, because I think the chin of Erceg is good. And I also think the grappling could be enough to kind of fend off some of those attacks from Pantoja. Our co-main event, the King of Rio is back, John. Jose Aldo Jr. returns to bantamweight to take on number 13, Jonathan Martinez. And John, I think we know where you're going to go with this.
I don't know if you have it queued up.
I don't have it queued up. Sorry.
If you want to sing it real quick, you can.
Yeah, John's going with the Lonely Heart Club here. But let us know who you taking. We know you're picking with your heart. Take it away.
Well, this is what I'll say. I'll say that for Jose, I thought that the Merab fight, that he had a chance to win it. He just didn't have that push in the end. I didn't think he was ever out of the fight. It didn't look like he was outclassed. It's just that matchup for him with Merab was just the last thing you want to see Aldo do is fight, or you want to see him fight what he's about to fight in Jonathan Martinez. With Jonathan Martinez, obviously you have the leg kicks, but who is the king of bringing that into the UFC, in my opinion, is Jose Aldo. Sure. The last guy who tried to play that game with him, Pedro Munoz, didn't turn out well because he was like, oh, you guys must have forgot I do this as well. The other thing I have for Jose, though, is he's been active in boxing since retiring, so it's not like he's coming off of the couch. This does seem like the UFC kind of grabbing it, needing another name for this card to really sell it. Because I don't know that Jose coming back was on his radar. I've seen like interviews where it seems like, he's going to see how this goes, but he has other boxing options and stuff that he wanted to look at. I do think Jonathan Martinez brings a lot of problems, but a lot of it comes off of leg kick and boxing, and that's what Jose Aldo is one of the best of all time at, in my opinion. So I am going Jose Aldo here. I'll say it goes to decision because Jonathan Martinez is super tough, but I think that all the things that Jonathan Martinez could throw at Aldo, he's already seen, and he does just as well.
Okay, yeah, so this is just a tough one for me because I think without the time off and the retirement, even coming off of the loss to Merab, I probably would have taken Jose Aldo in this matchup. It's no secret with Martinez, his leg kicks are his best weapon. 2 of his last 3 wins by leg kick. That's no joke. I think only 2 men in UFC history have ever done that, him and Edson Barbosa. But like you were saying is, can he chew up a guy like Aldo, who at one point, as you mentioned, this was sort of his thing, right? This was his biggest weapon. Again, 2 years ago, I think Aldo's boxing would have given Martinez a lot of problems, especially if he could have avoided those leg kicks. But yeah, I just can't ignore the time away here, even for a legend like Aldo. Plus, I'm just not quite sure what his motivations are in coming back to even fight. I'm sure he'll be motivated to put on a show in Brazil, but man, I have to just go with the guy who, not only is 7 years younger, but has also been as active as Martinez has since Aldo's retirement. And much like Martinez's last fight with Yanez, who was a great boxer himself, you can see how quickly and easily the legs can go from a guy, and then how the hands are just virtually useless like they were in that fight. So give me Jonathan Martinez here. Like you, I'm betting it'll go to a decision, so I will take him by decision. Also, I do have a little fun fact. Jonathan Martinez is a southpaw. Jose Aldo hasn't fought a true southpaw since 2015 when he was knocked out by Conor McGregor. So, and I say true southpaw because some guys like Marlon Cheeto and especially like Petr Yan, they like to switch back and forth. But that was crazy. He hasn't fought everybody he's fought orthodox, going against Jonathan Martinez here, who is another southpaw. So something to keep in mind there.